Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Yo. A little excited to be in the movie this morning. So welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to talk about kit and what to bring when you're going hiking or canoeing or snowshoeing or whatnot. You're going to see me a lot carrying my green backpack, my day pack, which is here. And I'll show you basically what's inside there. But first I want to discuss a few things on the do's and don'ts before you head off to go for a hike somewhere. So the first thing you want to do is you want to plan your route. Very important to know where you're going and also to notify family and friends of where you plan on going and what time you plan on coming back. And that could be as simple as just a text message. Saying, hi, I'm on this trail, leaving now, and as soon as you get back to your vehicle, then text them back, hi, I'm back, and so on. So very important that way if you do happen to have a misadventure and sprain an ankle or break a leg or something, or eaten by a bear, then they know where to go look for the parts. All right, so you can also leave a note in your car. That's also helpful for the search and rescue people to find you. You want to bring lots of high energy foods, lots of water. If you're going out in the winter time, you're going to want to bring maybe some hot coffee or tea in the thermos. And before you take off, you're going to want to check the weather to make sure there's no storm blowing in. A lot of the times you're going to see calling for a nice beautiful day and all of a sudden a storm comes out of nowhere, especially here in Kingston. We're right by Lake Ontario and you get the lake effects, and just out of the blue you'll get a snowstorm or bad weather coming in. So just things to keep in mind. I'm going to show you what I bring in my day pack. I call it my day pack because I usually I take it on day hikes and so on, but I always have everything I need in there in case I end up having to stay overnight, doing 24, 48 hours or 72 hours, whatever you want to put in there. So like I said, I'm going to discuss what to put in the pack in a few moments. But first I'm going to just discuss gear and stuff, what else to bring. One of the things is a good pair of hiking boots or shoes. I prefer the high tops. And that way you have a bit of ankle support. You want a good thread on the bottom as well. These here are waterproof, so I use these for snowshoeing, more in the fall or in the spring even when there's lots of mud and water on the trails. So you want a good pair of boots, preferably with ankle support if you can. You would not believe how many people I've seen get on the trail to do a 2-3 hour hike with flip-flops on. Okay, so don't do that. Another pair of boots that I have, these are Keens, and they're all leather, again waterproof as well, good sole. I use these more for summertime, and they've got a good toe protection here because you will trip on rocks, trust me, and you don't want to injure yourself. Another thing to consider is hiking poles. This is just a standard one. There's all kinds of different ones out there. This one's a black diamond, and it extends so that you can easily pack them away or even hang them up on your backpack if you don't want to use them. But a lot of people say, well, why do I need hiking poles? I'm not old enough for whatever the reason they may give themselves. But you would not believe how much more power you gain by using hiking poles. Because you're not only using your legs to push yourself up a hill, for example, or down, or holding yourself back, you're using your arms as well. So you're going to use a lot less energy by using hiking poles on your trek. So one thing to keep in mind that I learned the hard way is sometimes they'll teach you to put your wrist in the straps and hold on to your poles, whatever way you want to hold on to them. The only problem with that is when you're hiking, if you happen to trip on something, your first instinct is going to be to reach out and grab a tree or something. And when you've got this extended pole on the end of your arm, it may actually get trapped, hit the ground, and you're going to try and reach for whatever you're reaching for, and it's going to send you in a totally different direction. So keep that in mind. That's why when I use my poles, I never put my wrists through the straps. And that way, if I do have to let go and grab a tree or whatnot, I'm not impeded by the pole hanging off my my arm. Sometimes you can stop yourself with the pole from falling down, but sometimes it's just a reaction. You're falling and you're going to reach for the nearest thing that's in front of you. Okay, next thing is yak tracks. So these here come in different sizes, different varieties. They're to walk basically on icy conditions. So you can see the nails sticking out from the bottom here. These are a little bit more high-tech ones. They're a bit more expensive. You're probably looking at about 60 bucks for this pair. But I can tell you it's well worth it, because what happens if you buy a cheap pair, and again, I've been there, done that, is you will be walking and all of a sudden they're going to pop off your foot because they weren't strong enough. And you think you got a good grip when you're walking on ice, and all of a sudden you're gone. And that's happened to me many times until I invested in a good pair of yak tracks. So if you're going to buy them, don't cheap out. Get a good pair of yak tracks that has a good grip and that will fit on your boot properly, and that won't pop off when you least expect it. Okay. Another thing that I have, and you're going to see that in my next video, I've gone snowshoeing. There's different types of snowshoes that you can use. This is one pair here, and it's just a basic strap. You see the back lifts up here, and I have an extension wing on the back. Snowshoes are made, basically, you want to buy them to the size of your weight for obvious reasons, because you're going to be sinking through the snow if they're too small for you. Okay, these ones here, you can see they're a bit shorter, but they come with an extension that you buy separately to make them longer so that you stand up on the snow that much better. And they also come with this little lever here on the back. And what that is for is when you have your boot in the snowshoe, if you're going up a hill, you can pop these babies up, and that's going to help support your foot to stay more upwards like this, so that when you're going up the hill, you're not basically like this on your snowshoe. Okay, does that make sense to you? Some of you may not have known what these were for, but that's what that's for, is when you're climbing up a hill, you want to be able to pop these up, and that way your snowshoe will be like this going up the hill, and you won't have as many problems. On the bottom here, there's lots of metal grips and stuff like that to help you if you do happen to walk on ice. That happens a lot. So this is one pair. These ones are mine. These ones here are Laura's, and just a different kind. Again, she's a bit lighter than I am, so hers are a bit shorter, and different harness basically to put her foot in. Okay, so again, don't cheap out on the pair of snowshoes. You want them to last. I also have those, and believe it or not, I've actually used those. That's why what I started off with is those snowshoes when I was younger. And those work great as well. Just look after them, and you won't have any problems. They'll last forever. All right, so the next thing I'm going to cover here, I guess we're going to go into the backpack and what I have in my backpack here. So just give me a second here, I'll get organized. Okay, so now for the backpack and what I carry in my backpack when I go out. Again, even if you're going out for a half-hour walk in the backwoods behind your house or whatnot, it's always good to bring it. You just never know when it's going to be needed. So don't take any chances. I've seen a lot of people on the trail with nothing, just their runners or their flip-flops, and that's it. If something was ever to happen, that would be it. They'd be stranded over there. So this backpack here is an Osprey. There's different kinds. This is a 24 liter. I have two other ones that are, one's a 50 liter, I believe, and another one is 70 liter for backpacking if I go overseas and whatnot, where I need to bring a little bit more. I like the this particular backpack because it's small, easy compactable, and you have lots of room inside. It has lots of different pockets inside of it, and it has the air vent on the back. So I don't know if you can see that. On the vent on the back here, there's a space, screen space, and that prevents your back from getting too warm, basically. Lets the air flow and so on. And also on the front here, when this is around my waist, I have a small pouch that's easily accessible to put snacks in or whatnot, granola bars and so on, high energy bars. And on this side here, you're going to see it's going to be my compass. And I have my map in my jacket or pockets or whatnot. This also has pouches on the sides that I can put some, one side I put water bottle, and the other side I'll put a small thermos of coffee or tea or whatnot. In the summertime, sometimes I'll put just 2 bottles of water because you sweat more and you're going to want to be bringing more water with you. The other thing too is you can put a hydration pack inside and just put the tube down on the front of the strap here, and that way you can just drink as you're going along. Okay, so let's start by the top pouch here. Turn it this way for you guys. Now, the stuff that I have in here is not exhaustive. You can bring all kinds of different things. This is what I bring. There might be other things that you might want to bring. For females, obviously, hygiene products and so on. So whatever it's left up to your imagination, basically. So in here in the top pouch, I have a monocular if I want to do some sightseeing or look for a landmark. If I get lost, I want to find a cell phone tower or whatnot to look on the map. I have waterproof matches. And in this case here, let me get a bit closer here for you. There you go. Okay, so in the waterproof case, there's a striking pad on the inside of the lid for people who didn't know that. Then I put the matches in there, and I also sometimes I'll put the striking pad off the cardboard box. I just cut it out and I'll put it inside because these do wear down, and then obviously they don't work. And the matches that I put in here are also waterproof matches. They've got a coat of wax on the tip of them, and that way if water does happen to go in or you drop them in the snow or whatnot, they're still going to light for you. Okay, over there I always carry a flashlight headlamp, and this one is rechargeable. It's Pez and or Petzl, and you can just recharge it and it lasts you good 2-3 hours easily, if not more. So always good to bring a rechargeable flashlight or extra batteries if you need to. Even if, like I say, you're going just for the day, you just never know. If you happen to get lost or you injure yourself, you have to spend the night, you're going to appreciate having that flashlight to see where the bears are coming from. Charger. Okay, and this is a portable charger. So you want to have the right connector for your phone to charge your phone or your headlamp or whatever you're bringing with you. And this here is a really handy gadget. It's a solar panel. This cap just comes off and I've got the connector there. And it just unrolls. And there you go. You have your solar panel to charge your phone with. It doesn't take up a lot of room, as you can see. And you just plug it into the end here and into your phone, and away you go. I've used this many times and it works really good. For a little solar panel, you'd be surprised how well it works. So that's handy to have. Now, with that said, there's also other kinds of solar panel you can bring. There's this one here. So I have all the toys and the gadgets. See? So there's this one here that is a little bit bigger, and of course will charge up your phone quicker than my other small one. And again, it comes with the cable that you can use to recharge. So what you could do is you can lay that on the back of your backpack and while you're hiking, or you can just, if you're taking a break, set it down on the fallen tree or hook it up somewhere. And then there's this one here. This is just another kind. Like I said, there's tons of other types out there. This is a Goal Zero. And you just open it up this way, flop it open, and there you go. You have your solar panel. And on the back, what I like about this one is it's got all the extra connectors. You can put all your stuff in here. So it's got a rechargeable pack that's ready to go. So that's fully charged. If I needed to charge something and there's no sun out, I could just recharge my phone using this. And it's got all kinds of adapters like a ladder plug-in and so on that you can use. So what I carry in mind depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm backpacking and I've got my day pack with me, I'll usually carry just the small one. And that way it's not as heavy, because you want to consider weight as well while you're hiking. Okay, so next thing, let's see what else is in here. So if you're bringing your pet, you want your doggy bags, of course. And this is a deer fly strip. I won't open it up, but it's just strips that you put on the back of your toque, or not your toque, but summertime you'd bring your ball cap, and all the deer flies will get attracted from the heat from the back of your head and your movement, and they'll stick to the deer fly tape. So it works really well. I've had up to probably 20 deer flies on there, and there's no getting them off. Here's a flint also that you can use using your survival knife, and that's really handy to have as well to start a fire. And then my next pouch here, I'll do this one here first. I've got some hand lotion, disinfectant, in case you need to use the washroom or whatnot. And oh yeah, and I've got this little handy can opener that you can use if you bring a can of tuna or whatever with you. Then you can open it with this. Okay, on the inside of my pack, I've got my map to use with my compass of the local area. You want the map to be of the area you're in. I have my gators here. So these here, I don't know if you'll see in my next video where I'm snowshoeing, I put these around the bottom of my pants if I'm not wearing ski pants, to keep the bottom of my pants dry from the snow. And it just attaches to your boot. It just wraps around your leg. I have these little eyelets here. If you ever wonder what these are for, it's to tie the front of the gator. Comes with a little eyelet here in the front, little hook. And you just hook that on there, wrap it around your pants, and away you go. So I use that a lot if I'm not wearing ski pants. In the snowshoe video that you're going to see next, you'll see that I'm wearing those. I also always bring an extra pair of socks and a toque or a mask. I have a mask in here, and put them in a plastic bag just in case it gets wet. You want to have at least a good pair of dry boots. You can also have an extra pair of mittens or gloves as well in the plastic bag, just in case you get wet, you fall in the snow or in the stream or whatnot, and you need to change your mittens. I carry these extra cups with me as well for a number of different reasons. The bottle of water that I hold on my pack, that I have on my pack, is metal, and there's two reasons for that. One of them is it's solid. If I drop it, it's not going to break. And two, I can also use it to warm up some water on the fire if I need to. I just pull the cap off and put it in the water in the fire, and warm up some water or tea or soup or whatnot. So it's got multiple purposes. I don't have to carry pots and pans that way. And you can see from all the dents in it, it has taken quite a beating, and they're still working great. So that's the reason I bring these, is in the wintertime, you don't want to be drinking off a metal container, because you might end up walking home with a water bottle stuck to your lips. All right, and see what else here. And of course, your handy dandy tissue in case you need to go. And then in here, I've got, let's see what else is at the bottom here. It's just elastic. So I have my survival knife. You want to bring a good survival knife. You don't want to bring some cheap thing that you got from the dollar store. because you want it to last. This could make or break your survival trip if you need to. So the knife itself is just a standard serrated knife. It comes with a whistle on the end in case you need to use a whistle. And while I'm on the whistle, I have another one on my pack as well. It's right here. So this is a Fox 40 whistle. Those are probably one of the better ones out there. If you ever did get lost or needed a rescue, if you whistle 3 times, 3 strong blows, that's a signal that you need help. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So on the back of the knife here, the case, I've got a flint that I can use, and on the back of this is the striker for the flint. I don't know if you can see that from there. So really handy thing to have. Like I said, don't cheap out if you're gonna get a knife. Get a good one that is gonna last you, because with this knife you're going to be building shelters, you're going to be building possibly traps to snare something. Who knows, right? You could be fighting off a couple of bears. You never know. All right, so the next thing is the next part of my pack. One more thing on the bottom here is a raincoat. Look underneath here. I always keep a raincoat in my backpack, very small and light, but it will keep me dry if I need to. If I need something to keep me dry. And then you also have your rain cover for your backpack itself. You'll usually find that at the bottom of your backpack. Again, very good thing to have to keep your gear dry that you have. The next thing I'm going to show you is my survival pouch. So on the front here is all my survival gear. I keep it all in one spot. I put all the necessities, clothing, food and stuff in the big bag. The small stuff that I may need right away, matches, stuff like that, I keep in the top pouch. And in this pouch, I keep all my survival gear. So let me go through it here and I'll show you what I have. So first thing is a first aid kit. And it doesn't have to be a fancy first aid kit. I made this one up on my own. And I'll just show you what's inside here. So I have a field dressing, which you might be able to find at an Army surplus store. They're really great, absorbent pads inside, and it comes with a tie down that you can use to wrap around your leg or whatever. I have some allergy medication in case I get stung by anything. Medical tape always comes in handy. Extra matches in case the other ones get wet or I run out. Some antibiotic ointment. I have a survival blanket, some band-aids here. A survival blanket, and that can come in handy as well. If you do get cold or whatnot, you can wrap yourself in one of these. They don't take up a lot of room, and you're good to go. These are triangular bandages. Again, very handy to have in case you have to sling your arm up if you break something. And these are all-purpose scissors that will cut through your clothing if you need to cut your jeans, or hopefully you're not out there with jeans actually. But if you need to cut your pants or a sleeve to get a bandage on. I have a sewing kit as well, just a small miniature sewing kit if I need it. Afterbite and some chapstick and a tick remover. Okay, always handy to have a little tick remover, and some extra needles or clothespins and stuff in case you need to use a clothespin for whatever. Okay, and chapstick on a sunny day. All right, so that was just my first aid kit, and now we're gonna pull out some other stuff that's in here. Let's see. All right, so the next thing in here is this emergency sleeping bag. See how small it is? And it's like a cocoon that you could just slide yourself into, which will keep you dry. It's waterproof and so on. So it's perfect to wrap yourself in if you do get cold or you need shelter. This here is a Life straw, and you're probably wondering what these are. These are very popular. If you ever run out of water and you need to replenish your water and you don't know if the water is good to drink, you don't want to get beaver fever, I always carry a Life straw with me, and they're probably about $30 maybe now, but they're well worth it. I keep one in my day pack. I keep one in my kayak gear as well, and that way I always have it with me in case I need it. So you just basically dip it in the water, and you can drink it the water right out of the pond wherever you are. I bring some ribbon to mark my trail in case I have to go off into the woods for something, get off the trail. Or if I'm not sure which trail to take, I can leave a marker, and that way if I get lost, I backtrack, find my marker, and then go in the other direction if I have to. I always keep some rope, some good rope, and for whatever reason, to build a shelter or tie something down. Tie your food up in the tree to keep it away from the bears if you have to, or your pack. These are hydration tablets that you just add to your water, and it helps replenish all the energy that you need. What else here? This is a portable saw that I have along with the knife. If I have to cut some a lumber, like a tree or something, to build a shelter, untangle this here. But this is really handy to have. You just put that around your thumbs, and you just pull it around the tree, and it'll cut right through a tree, no problem. I've used it before, and it works really good. What else here? These are kindlings. These are pieces of wood that are soaked in fuel, and that way if you are out and you have to start a fire and all the wood around you is wet because it's pouring rain, these are excellent to keep in your backpack just in case. This is paracord here, and you can get that at the Army surplus stores. It's perfect to build a shelter. You can use it for many things, but if you look on the inside, you're going to see that there's a number of different strands within the green wrapping that's around it. So you not only have one string to build your shelter, but you also have a dozen other ones inside that are really strong. This is parachute cord, basically. People depend on these to keep them alive when they jump out of airplanes. So you can imagine how strong they are, and it's perfect to build a shelter. You can use it to tie your pieces of wood together to build your shelter. So let's see what else here. So this here, again, I keep one of these in my day pack, and I keep one of these in my kayak gear when I go canoeing. And it's a flare gun. So what you do is it's a pen that you attach. You screw the flare to the tip here, and then there's a release mechanism that you can pull, and you let go, and then the flare will go. Now there's different things. These ones are called bear bangers, the green ones, and it's good to mark them, because when there's a bear in front of you and you're stressed and you're trying to pull this out and screw it on the top of this and then shoot it off to scare the bear away, you want to make sure you have the right ones. The red ones here are the flares. So if you're lost at nighttime or whatnot, you use these ones here. So I've got 3 for flares, and I've got 2 bear bangers. And I always, like I said, keep that in my backpack. It doesn't take up a lot of room, and it could save your life. If the bear bangers don't work, you can always use pepper spray, bear spray. Okay, this one here comes in a larger canister. There's different kinds out there. You want to make sure that it's not expired. And when you do use it, I want you to be aware that if you do have to use this, you don't want to be downwind, okay, for obvious reasons. I've used pepper spray before, and I can tell you when you're downwind, you'll notice it pretty quickly. And if you're blinded by this and then the bear is still out there, you want to have the upper hand. So make sure that if you do, God forbid, come across a bear, you want to try and position yourself where you're not downwind from the bear. If you can, just slowly move to the left or right or whatever, and then apply this if you have to. Sometimes just a quick shot in the air and the wind, let the wind carry it to the bear. That'll be enough for the bear to take off. And if it doesn't, and they start moving in, then you may have to apply direct blast to the face of the bear. Keep in mind, goal-oriented animals may not be affected by this at all. Okay, so have an alternate plan. So what I do is I bring someone with me that can't run as fast as I can. So that way, I'm always guaranteed to get away. All right, so keep that in mind. Don't use this when you're downwind, and be aware that it may not work, okay? And have an alternate plan. The best thing to use, the first thing that I would use is the whistle. Blow your whistle really loud, and sometimes that's enough just to get the bear away from you. If that doesn't work, you can use your bear banger or go straight to the pepper spray, whatever the situation dictates. But again, it doesn't work 100% of the time, so keep that in mind. I've got toe warmers and hand warmers. You can just stick those in your boots or your gloves if it's winter time. I've got some snare wire, again, to catch, trap some rabbits or to build a shelter. You can use it for wherever. I can use it around my bottle here, wrap it around and make a loop to put it on the branch or whatnot to boil my water. There's all kinds of things that you can use this for. Okay, another thing that's in my day pack as well is a tarp. This one, I can't remember how tall. I think it's a 10 by 10 or 10 by 12. Very small, compact, and you can use it to build a shelter, to wrap around you if you want, basically to collect water, because it is waterproof. So that's another good thing to have in your day pack as well. Another little gadget that's really handy is this little pack here. It's a hand warmer, basically. If you open it up, you're going to see there's a little flint inside, and the inside is all fireproof. You light this up with your match, just stick it in there, close it up, and then it's slowly going to burn its way through. And you can put these in your mittens if you want, or inside your jacket to keep your core warmer. So very handy thing to have. And they also come with refillable flints inside as well that you can get. There's about a dozen, I think, in those packs. So that's another thing to have. That's handy. In the front of my pack here, I mentioned I keep one of the pouches for snacks and so on. Out here, so I have Clif Bars in there and so on. Really good thing to have, and that way I don't have to take my pack off every time that I want to just snack on something. And then on this side here, struggle here, is my compass. So it's good to know how to use one of these. This one here is Silva, and you just open it up. Basically, you put the red needle in the red in the bed, as they say, and you get your bearing from the mirror, and then you can aim basically at a landmark in the distance. Could be a specific tree, it could be whatever, it could be a telephone antenna or whatnot, and then you just pick a bearing and then head in that direction. And I also use it as a signal mirror on the front here, on the inside. You can use it to signal aircrafts or whatnot if you're lost, okay? If you do build, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not, but if you do have to build a signal fire, same thing, the 3 whistles that I mentioned earlier, you build 3 fires in a triangle shape. I don't know, however many feet that you can spare in an open area, and that means that you're in distress and you do need help as well. Okay, so anyways, keep that in mind. So have a compass, know how to use it, bring a map as well so that you can orientate yourself on the map. You can find certain mountains, or like I said, TV antennas or satellite phone antennas, and or cell phone antennas, I should say, and then get your bearing from there, and then hopefully find your way out. Okay, so another good thing to have along with the LifeStraw is just water purification tablets, just in case that water is really dirty. You don't want to take any chances, along with the Life Straw, or just use this in your water container. So another good little thing to have along with the Life Straw. Duct tape is another good thing to carry with you. You can patch a hole in your tent. You can patch a hole in your raincoat, or somebody's waking up here. You can take a piece of duct tape if you don't want to carry a big roll like that, and wrap it around the pencil, and that way it's a lot smaller. It doesn't take up as much room. And or you can just squish this basically down to size and take that with you. So duct tape is also a good thing to have in your day pack. These are more hand warmers, and I think that's pretty much it. Yep. So that's it for my gear. Like I said, that's what I carry, a bare minimum. I'll bring some food with me, some high energy granola bars, Cliff Bars is usually what I end up bringing. You can put whatever you want else in there, but I strongly recommend bring a day pack with you whenever you go. If it's just for, like I said, half-hour hike or whatnot, you just never know when you sprain an ankle, you're by yourself, and you got to spend the night. Okay, it's always good to have that extra backpack. Trust me, you're going to appreciate having that day pack with you if push comes to shove. All right, so hopefully nothing happens to you. The best thing to do is, like I said, prevention. Make sure that you notify your family, your friends where you're going. Check out your route beforehand, what kind of terrain you're going to be hiking in. Wear a proper set of footwear. Bring extra clothing. I always, that's another thing that I didn't mention, is you want to layer your clothes. You don't want to go there with a big parka unless it's really cold and you need that. Bring different layers. I usually wear about 4 layers, and then I take some off as I need, and then I put it back on. If I stop to take a break to have a snack or whatever, then I'll throw one of my layers back on again. So I always wear layers. The fleece is a good thing to have, and I like the down-filled jackets as well, because you can cram them up into small balls and put them in your pack. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate, don't be shy. Send me a quick message on my account, and I'll answer any questions that you may have. And I'll also include this. I have a kit list that I've done up. Basically everything that you see here is on this picture with a diagram of what everything is. So I'll include that on the end of the video, and then you can take a screenshot or whatnot, and then that give you a good base on where to start to build your day pack. Day pack can be anything, whatever backpack that you can find. It doesn't have to be anything fancy like this one here. And this, like I said, this one's a 24 liter, and it holds everything that you just saw and some. It wasn't completely full. It's whatever you want to carry is totally up to you. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up, and hopefully we'll see you on the trails. All right, take care.